United Nations has warned that up to 100,000 civilians could leave Mosul in the next few days. Those who can have already started leaving villages to the east and the south of the city as Iraqi forces try to clear the area of Daesh. But there are growing concerns of a humanitarian crisis looming, with more than 1.2 million people still stuck in the embattled city. And the United States say they expect Daesh to use crude chemical weapons and civilians as human shields to repel the offensive. Well, right now, the Peshmerga are trying to capture the village of Bartella, 21 kilometers east of Mosul. Alican Ayanlar is in nearby Khader with the details.
Here on the eastern Khader front, most of the action is concentrated on capturing the village of Bartella behind me. After sunset on Tuesday, coalition warplanes have been firing parachute flares to light up the night sky. And since the early morning hours on Wednesday, drones and fighter jets have been dropping munitions, targeted munitions on Daesh targets there. But village by village, the front line continues to move westward. And at this pace, Iraqi commanders do believe they can reach Mosul within 2 weeks and fully liberate the city within 2 months. And that's in line with Iraqi Prime Minister Khader al-Abadi's desire to clear Daesh from the country by the end of this year. But as the ground troops, which are mainly made up of Iraqi National Army troops and Kurdish Peshmerga fighters, tighten their grip around Mosul, there is a concern that Daesh may use civilians as human shields, as well as possibly use chemical weapons. U.S. officials are regularly testing shell fragments to see if there are any traces of chemical agents, but don't believe the group is at a capacity to produce high and lethal quantities. But regardless of that, more than 10,000 people have already started to flee the city of Mosul. Now, there are about 66 camps across the country housing nearly 750,000 people, which have been internally displaced because of the violence in the country. And this number is set to rise for sure. Nearly 10% of the residents of Mosul are expected to leave, mainly going to the south, to the Khader camp, where the camp is already at overcapacity. But it's not only the camps inside of Iraq that are expected to take more people to the west. Across the border in Syria, the camp at Al-Hasaka has begun taking in Iraqi refugees. So as the country prepares itself for the biggest battle in more than a decade, it's also dealing with a looming humanitarian crisis.